sorry. There's only one way I'm gonna get through a review of this fuck-ass year, and it's with this. This OJ just reminded me that OJ Simpson actually died this year, so I'm like, we gotta go through everything that happened, and the way we're gonna do it is bingo. And you know, because we can't go through everything, obviously, I devised 5 categories. Bullshit, instant meme, no fucking way. Good news, the most challenging one, let me be clear. And, oop, those are our categories. Let's address the Teletubby son here first. I did this on purpose because obviously he had quite an eventful year, to put it bluntly. If we were to address all of the things that he went through, he would just take up the entire board. And I could do that for another video, but we decided that's not the vibe for this one. So here's just a little menu of the things that he served this year. So let me grab my little bingo ball roller, which I obviously didn't have. So this is just pieces of paper folded up in a mug. And let's begin. What a way to begin, actually, with Hawk Tuah. What a rise and fall this year for Miss Haley Welch, who knows. She had her famous Hawk Tuah on it video that went viral this year, and next thing you know, she is the It Girl podcast host, talking about like, oh my God, is she a Republican? Is she a Democrat? Which way is she going to vote? Is she going to endorse anybody? I'm like, the last thing we need to know is who Hawk Tuah is going to endorse. But her year has ended on quite a sour Hawk Tuah because she's involved in a crypto scam. So who knows what her 2025 is going to look like, but thank you for all the memories, Hawk Tuah. Next. The Juul class action lawsuit settlement. I love this. I got my payout. This is good news for me because I got paid off of an addiction that I harbored for, I don't know, 6 years. A long time. I think we're going to start to see a lot more class action lawsuits pop up as products get a little bit more devious and as their users get younger and more susceptible to the bad things that happen, like vaping. Also, I've been 1 year vape free. If I can do it, you can do it. So, class action, get your coin. Don't leave it on the table. Okay, right after I say that we're not going to address Trump, we're going to address Trump because it was, to me, the most memeable moment of the year was him working a shift at McDonald's. The store was not open. They had pre-approved customers in the drive-through line. But let me say, he as a germaphobe was stoked to see that nobody was touching his fucking French fries. Him out that drive-through window, I'm like, he's never been in that context in his life. They actually couldn't hire him because he's a felon. But he served it up and we're going to be getting mileage out of that meme for years to come. KateGate. We're going overseas across the pond for this one. This was bullshit. Nothing she did, for the record, was bullshit. We are not blaming women in this house. She has cancer. That's horrible. The lengths to which the palace tried to cover up her diagnosis is devastating and is going to like harm their children. And it went so far as to say, oh, we released an AI photo. Everybody knew it was AI instantly because of the weird fingers on the table. And they decided to have her take the fall and say, I just have a novice amateur Photoshop hobby, and I wasn't very good at it this time. To make somebody going through that take the fall for your AI mishap, that is the definition of bullshit for me, and she deserves better. This looks like my enemies list, which is kind of fun. Another good news. Flav and his Olympics adventures this year, I could not get enough of. If there was anybody who was meeting the moment with like unbridled joy and the whitest freaking veneers I've ever seen in my life to the point that they're scary, it was Flav. Not only did he sponsor the U.S. women's water polo team so they could physically get there because they have to fund their own way, he also funded Jordan Childs, who had her medal outrageously stripped from her. He gave her a clock bronze medal, which I'm like, that is way better than the real thing. That is memorabilia right there. So to Flav, I hope 2025 is even better than this year was. This was a curveball because I had forgotten about this, and you might have forgotten about this too. But this man right here, sexiest man alive. I don't know who People magazine was talking about every year. People forget the role that he had in bringing the man called Joe Biden down. I know Nancy Pelosi was behind the scenes, but he was out here in the New York Times saying, I love Joe Biden. He's my friend. He has to drop out. I'm fucking serious. It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. That is a fucking read. That is brutal. And if I were Joe Biden, I'd quit my job too. I'd be like, George Clooney's saying I'm shit at my job. I gotta go. So George Clooney is the reason we're here. Bring yes. This is my favorite, and maybe it's just a meme to me, but I think it's a meme that graduated into larger culture, featuring a political figure that you had not met yet, who was very key to this season of America's downfall. Anthony Edwards was on a post-game interview. Charles Barkley, who I would never fail to mention in a year-end wrap-up, he's too good to us, said, oh, I haven't been to Minnesota in a long time. You'll need to show me the restaurants. Anthony Edwards said, bring your ass. But what happened was, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who a lot of you didn't know at the time, honestly kind of myself included, decided to make a Wolves Back Day, which is the official Bring Ya Ass Day in Minnesota. The website, bringyaass.com, redirected to the Minnesota State Tourism website. His proclamation started with the letters BRING. You get the rest of it. That is a meme on deep levels. That is cultural relevance on deep levels. I fucking love it. We might get the meme bingo. That would be really unexpected. Or we might get the good bingo. Wow. Evan Gershkovich-Fried. Evan Gershkovich is, thankfully, a journalist who was held captive in Russia for a number of months. He was freed this year in a prisoner swap, which is a little bit contentious, along with another long-held American prisoner, Paul Whelan. Very happy to have them both home. I think the crazy thing about Evan, the biggest thing you need to know is once you get freed, you get to submit a document to like the Russian people about like your stay in their prison, I guess. And he was like, yeah, the only thing that I'd like to do is offer a one-on-one sit-down interview with Vladimir Putin. And I'm like, that is journalism on the brain all the time. So Evan, welcome home. Oh, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani had to turn over a lot of assets this year after he lost a number of lawsuits that he was involved in. My favorite one, though, and the one we'll talk about today, is when he had to hand over his Upper East Side, New York apartment worth millions and millions of dollars to some Georgia state election workers. That is the ultimate, to me, good luck and welcome to these Georgia election workers. I hope you find New York to your liking and his apartment to your liking. Who knows where he's living? If anybody has any leads, let me know. I don't want good news bingo. This is literally not why I came here. But McConnell stepping down from leadership. This is important and we should see this as good. Normalize this when you're fucking 80 years old and you've been in the longest serving party leader in Senate history. Let's normalize ending that reign and letting somebody else give it a shot. He has been there since the 80s and he was like, I'm going to finish my term, but not as your leader. And to that I say, well done. I'll take it. Okay, here, now we're talking in the no fucking way category where I want to be. Plane window flies off. This was early January. This is one of the first things on my list. Boeing, it was just the start of their troubles. This plane was in flight. The whole window falls off. Everybody's freaking out. I'm like, what a way to start this year. This is a whole ass mess. Honestly, they haven't ended the year much better. They've had whistleblowers, congressional hearings, and not to mention 2 astronauts who are still fucking stuck in space. Elon Musk is trying to rescue them, which Godspeed. They're still up there, not coming back till March 2025 now. So Boeing, you're on the list. Be better. Yeah, I hope you can see this. This says, fuck ass football player speech. That would be Harrison Butker over here, who is the kicker, who's not super good at his job right now for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he did a commencement address, I don't know, out of college and was like,
some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
And they got really mad at him. They wondered why his teammates weren't holding him accountable. Travis Kelce was like, I don't agree with that, but like, we're still homies. Pat Mahomes was like, I'm not saying anything because I absolutely agree with him. And that's what's landed him on our bullshit list. Make your 29-yard field goals, please. Wait, we have bingo. Bingo. So we did get bingo, but we're using the free space, which I feel like is a little bit of a cop-out. Not only that, I do want to address the rest of the things on the board. So we're going for blackout. How about that? Maybe in more ways than one. I'm kidding. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm kidding. Drop a comment if you got bingo too. Oh, I love this one because it's something that I feel like most people did not clock. This is the ambulance, because this was when Republicans decided they wanted to impeach the head of the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. They failed. It was kind of embarrassing for them that they failed. They shouldn't have. But that was partially because all these people with various injuries and ailments and illnesses showed up out of the blue, out of the woodwork to make sure they got their vote in. For example, Rep. Al Green pulled up from the hospital in a hospital gown and no shoes in a wheelchair. And Hal Rogers from the Republican Party came with a neck brace because he had been in a car accident. And it was like, hey, that's the kind of energy I want to see Congress having. Not, falling apart, but like showing up and doing their job no matter what. How about more of that in 2025? Hey, this is a good one. In case you don't recognize this man over here, Mark Robinson, he ran for governor of North Carolina this year, unbelievably. And sometime around the fall, it was discovered that he had a long time ago been a poster, often, big, heavy poster, on a porn forum. And he had some unsavory things to say about Nazism, transgender people. The list really runs the gamut. But his whole staff quit, basically. He denied it, tried to sue CNN, and then CNN was like, I mean, you literally said it. Like, I don't know what to do for you. Needless to say, he lost. But I feel like we'll be seeing him again. He's not going anywhere. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Do you guys remember when Kamala Harris went on the Drew Barrymore show on that freaking couch that they're always sidled up in, and she scooched closer and closer to our vice president and finally looked her dead in the eyes and said,
"We need you to be Momala of the country."
And Kamala Harris was like, I have never felt a more palpable sense of discomfort in my entire life. It was genuinely painful. I think of it every day. That's what this face is. And I feel like that kind of set the tone for Kamala Harris's vibe for the eventual presidential campaign she wasn't expecting to run. So, painful. This is an easy one. Easy bullshit. Low grade, low level bullshit. Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that Democrats control the weather. Yes, they control the weather. And she was like looking through the screen. I know you know who they are. This was in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, which was a disaster and horrifying and terrible. So to do some weather conspiracy theories a la Jewish space lasers maybe wasn't the time. So bullshit. Another guy who you probably don't know on this, Lloyd Austin, right here, Secretary of Defense, at the very, very, very beginning of the year, like New Year's Day, admitted to the hospital. And everyone was like, okay. Well, actually, nobody said anything because nobody knew until 4 days later when they finally told the president that he was in the ICU. His number 2 was on vacation and had no idea he was in the hospital. His chief of staff had the flu. And there was basically no one running the Defense Department, despite the fact that we conducted an airstrike on Iraq, obviously. So that was bad vibes. That was a little bit of a, oop, what do you mean you were in the ICU? Where were you? And why didn't you tell anyone? We're about to have our first column bingo in the oop column. The first one, this was also early January. What a way to set the tone. A tarot card reader went on Fox News and pulled the death card and was like, I don't know how to say this. There's a sense of loss that's going to happen with Trump. And everyone was like, oh my God, why would she say that? That's literally crazy. And then what do you know? He got shot at multiple times this year. A little crazy the way that she predicted and honestly was vindicated. So maybe we should call her back at the beginning of this year. Fox News, get on that, please. My biggest no fucking way of the year was hearing that Kristi Noem self-admitted, nobody pressured her to, she just wanted to say that she did kill her dog, Cricket. If you're watching, our hearts are with you. She killed her dog. He was unruly, couldn't train it. So I just put it out of its misery in the backyard with 2 bullets in the head, but had to reload the shotgun. Like, there's a lot of details we don't need to go over. I feel like that really derailed her momentum for the year as like young, hot Republican. So, PETA, maybe have a word. Okay, yeah. I feel like of all the things on this list, other than Hawk Tuah, this Biden, when he saw Marjorie Taylor Greene at the State of the Union, which was his one night that he popped off this year, from that moment, it was like right when he walked in, I was like, oh, he is in his bag tonight. Because she was wearing her whole regalia and he saw her and was like, I don't know about that. See ya. And she had this like kind of an unbelievable interaction. I'll be thinking about that for a long time. Give me more of that. Authentic moment. That's what makes a good meme, no? And another bingo. Oh, this is complicated, so let's do it quick. Reclassification of weed. Good thing. It's currently a Schedule I drug along with heroin and LSD. That's crazy. Biden's White House was like, we gotta move this. We gotta reclassify it down to Schedule III with ketamine and steroids and other things. That's hit a little bit of a hiccup after this happened in May, I want to say, where the DEA has to do some hearings, but these pro-cannabis groups want to kick the DEA out of their own hearings. So like when that's going to happen, can't say. But the vibes are good. The intention is good. I'll take it. Oh my God, almost done with bingo. What is left? Oh, ooh. Sorry, the vibes of the things that are left are crazy. Not ideal, honestly, the way that this went. Yeah, so bullshit. U.S. says that they're going to condition aid to Israel. Okay, so in May, the U.S. was like, if you bomb Rafah or invade Rafah in Gaza, we're going to cut off your aid. They did that. We didn't cut off the aid. What do you know? Still in October, we're going through the same song and dance. Hey, if you guys don't let more humanitarian aid into Gaza, we're going to cut off the bomb supply. We're going to give you 30 days. They said in a private letter, not even a public one. 30 days pass. We're still sending bombs. So that is the distillation of bullshit of this year, where we're hearing you say things publicly out loud and then not even seeing you follow up on them. Tried and true bullshit. Okay, this is a flag saga like none other. 2025, bring back, it has to be the year of neighborly disputes. Non-violent ones, please. Don't take that as a call to action. Non-violent neighborly disputes like hanging a flag upside down, which is what the wife, allegedly, of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito did after a dispute with a neighbor. She said the upside down American flag is a sign of distress, but she's hung other far-right symbolism on their flagpoles over the years. The funniest thing about this is it was because the neighbor put up a sign that said F Trump. And then someone called the other the C word, and then the flags were raised, and then a reporter was involved. I'm like, bring back petty little drama like that. More of that. So while that is bullshit because Samuel Alito blamed his wife, don't blame your wife. Actually, this is a category about blaming wives. Literally, Kate Middleton, Harrison Butker, the fucking flags. I don't know. She's probably involved in some way. Crazy. Anyway, last one. And this is really suited for the last one because we have not hit RFK Jr. on this board. And let me tell you, narrowing down his moments this year was tough. The brainworm was up there, but I have to say dumping a bear carcass in Central Park and having that discovered and having you take a photo with it before you did it. Numbers among the biggest, no fucking way did that happen of my life, not just this year. So RFK Jr. made it on the board. I'm like, what does the Department of Health and Human Services have to say about dumping animal carcass in the park where kids play? Jesus. Yeah, let's get this guy off here. That is blackout on the board. This is blackout. This is not. When you look at it in aggregate, you see the whole picture together. You're like, holy shit, what a crazy ass society we live in. Borderline ungovernable, unfixable. I have so many questions. Chief among them, what the fuck, America? I can't wait to do this in 2025. My call to action, though, let's run some predictions. What are your predictions? Send them to me. I want to know so we can build this ahead of time. That being said, I'll see you on the other side in a better time, in a better life, maybe in 2025. Make sure you're subscribed, commenting, liking, notifications on, for WTF America. Peace.